This guy right here is gonna be one hell of a boss event because Ninja Kiwi has decided to go out with a bang. So we are gonna have update 44 coming in just a couple of days if everything goes to schedule. So first off, taking a look at the modifiers, the boss health has been reduced a little bit, the boss speed has been reduced a little bit. This is the elite vortex, by the way, but this is not where the action is or where the problems are. It's here on the right side. As you guys can see, we only have military towers up to our disposal, but the problem is that we are limited in the amount of towers that we can buy for farming, and then that means that the amount of money that we make in general is going to be super limited. So looking at this boss event, I actually don't think the farming is going to be a problem, just because, well, this is nothing else to do. Like you just have to buy the towers that are given to you and they're going to make money, and that's about it. I think the problem is going to be just defending this thing. So I feel like we should have a little bit of an issue going into tier 3, tier 4, and eventually tier 5, which is pretty much opposite as to what normally happens in these boss events. So yeah, I'm just going to keep spamming a bunch of these small, merchantmen, and we're going to see how many of these guys we can get, and I'm going to see you guys in a second. Okay, so I was able to get 2 merchantmen, one on the left side. I greeted this guy out at like round 13, and I still haven't bought the grape shot on any of these guys. That's because I'm being super greedy. I'm trying to use, everything that we have at our disposal. So there's this monkey knowledge point, which gives 10% extra attack speed to these guys if they're set on last. So I have both of these guys set on last. And then we're going to try and delay the grape shot as much as possible by just trying to be, clever with these placements. So for example, I'm going to have this guy on last. He's going to attack down a straight line. He's going to use the pierce on his dart a lot better. So that means that we are probably not going to have to buy the grape shot for a second, and we're going to get a merchantman a little bit earlier. So that's how I'm trying to play this, with a little bit more efficiency, so that because I know the money is going to be a problem later on for sure. So let's see how we do for the tier 1 and how many merchantmen we can get. Alright, so tier 1 is about to come out, and here is what we have. We have 9 of these guys, 9 merchantmen. Oh, none of them have a grape shot, so these are all 003. I was able to greed out actually a decent amount of buccaneers, it looks like. And then something else is that we're going to try and defend with the elite defender as usual, but we kind of want to get this thing going a little bit faster. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we let round 40, we defeat round 40, we're going to make money when this round ends, and then we're probably going to have to sell, we're going to have to sell a decent amount of these guys actually. So let's go like this. Is 2 enough? Oh, okay, so 2 is really not that bad. I thought that we are going to have to sell more of these guys, so 2 is going to be completely fine. And now we know that the elite defender is a great tower that does this, but this is exactly what I was talking about. So you kind of want to micro this thing, you want to leak lives on purpose, so you activate the passive ability, you want to keep it going, but then at the same time you switch it to first, because these vortex balloons are really fast, so you can leak a lot of lives if you're not being careful with this thing. So just like this, and we procced it. Oh, going first, just, oh my god, some of these vortex waves have been altered, so yeah, you might kind of get caught off guard if you're not being careful. So switch to first, go back on strong king. We can't even see vortex because we're doing so much damage, but I can see some camel balloons. So let me actually buy the grape shot for the first time on these guys, and there we go. That's gonna be a tier 1. We are gonna make a lot of money by selling this thing. I wish I had a favorite trades, but it doesn't really matter, because the next thing that we're gonna be doing is just going straight for the trade empire. We're gonna buy a bunch of these merchantmen, and then eventually going to sniper farming, but that's gonna be in a few rounds. So I'm gonna see you guys in a second for the tier 2. So before the boss appears, I wanted to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about the mermonkey? What are your thoughts? We had an early access video yesterday, but yeah, the mermonkey is absolutely amazing. Here comes the tier 2 boss. It's a really fun tower. The thing I'm most excited about is just the numbers with these guys, because you need to get a little bit of a better feel of what the tower does. And after the first look at the mermonkey, I think that the tower is awesome. I think it's gonna be a really fun tower. Something that I really liked is that it is just not your beast handler type of tower. It has a sort of a complexity on its own, because you're gonna have to pair it. There are gonna be some interesting combos with the bottom crosspath. If you guys saw that one, the alluring melody, which makes all the balloons spin in a circle. So that's kind of the balloon chipper aspect of it. That's the tier 2 boss done, by the way. So now that we're done with the boss, I'm just gonna be buying up these snipers. We have a limited amount of snipers that we can buy as well. The number is 25, and I don't know, these snipers are not exactly your farming towers. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit weird how much money we're gonna make. I don't have a gauge. I don't know what to expect on the amount of money that we are gonna be making when we're done with this thing, but that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing in the next round. So let's just keep spamming these snipers under the range of the banana farmer actually, so the crates get auto collected by it, and I'm gonna see you guys in a second. Alright, so it's round 80, and here's the plan. We are not affording a paragon. The paragons are way too expensive. Okay, so we have to do something else, and that's gonna be these small side towers that don't exactly deal with the boss, or don't do anything properly, but when you combine all of them together, they're hopefully gonna defend the boss. Okay, so I bought the mat. I'm gonna get the flying fortress. I was thinking of getting the ray of doom as well. That's a little bit expensive, but we're gonna have the next sniper ability, so maybe that's gonna do something. So let's go like this, a 420 Daldic. I'm having all of these guys on the side, and I'm just praying that this is enough damage. Alright, so next crate drop in a second, and let's see if this is gonna do anything. So we can afford the ray of doom right now. Let me just lock it in place just like this, And are these guys holding the boss in place? I don't think they are. Nope, they're not holding the boss in place. I mean, what else can we do? Alright, so I might have disregarded the sub paragon a little bit early. So let's actually try and get it. So I'm gonna sell the mat. I bought all the 3 subs, and then I'm gonna try and, you know, make as much money as possible in a reasonable time frame. I think that if we get the degree 1 sub, it's gonna be able to hold the vortex in place, but I don't know, guys. So 1 drop of these guys makes about $35,000, I think, and we're gonna need 400,000 for, yeah, this is not happening. Okay, so let me just start selling up these snipers. I feel like the snipers are the better choice for selling. We are selling them in the range of a favorite trades bow, which is really nice, but you know, just doing this, I'm realizing that we're destroying all of our farming, and that doesn't feel good. Okay, so let's buy the sub paragon. It's gonna be a degree 1, but I think the degree 1 should be good enough versus vortex. And let me just, you know, just get this thing going. I need to get these snipers going as soon as possible, so just keep buying them. Yeah, look at this. So the tier 1 sub is defending this thing, no problem. The HP on the vortex has also been reduced by a decent amount, so that means that the sub paragon has an even easier time, but the problem is just farming through this thing, right? Look at this thing. It's just keeping it in place, and the problem is, I think this is going to be the same problem that we're going to have on tiers 4 and 5, and that's just the money's not going to be there for the defense that you need. I'm going to sell the sub paragon, by the way. I'm going to put all this money into these subs, but yeah, this, I don't know, guys, what's going to be happening on the tier 4 and the tier 5. It's going to get interesting, but yeah, that's going to be the tier 3. At least we dealt with this one, so let's turn off all the start. Let's sell the sub paragon. I'm going to put all this money into more farming. Alright, so it's round 99, and we are getting a little bit desperate, so I am even support Chinook farming, which is absolutely ridiculous. I bought the energizer to reduce the cooldowns of these abilities by a little bit, and we are going to have the money for a sub paragon, but this time it's going to be a little bit stronger because I bought all these subs on the sides. So let's just do it like this. Do we want to put any more money into this thing is my question, because the last one is going to be a buccaneer. So let's just do it with like 100k, just because I want to save a little bit of money. Let's see what's the degree that we get. It's going to be a 30. I think 30 is going to be fine, right? I think 30 is not the best. We could have put like 100k more, but I think this is good enough, at least for this tier. Oh yeah, this guy's absolutely showing it. It's even keeping it in place. What we have to do for the next one is we're gonna get a cripple mob. That's the only damage amplifier that we have, but so far so good. So degree 30 onto this one, it's dealing a decent amount of damage, but is this gonna be enough? And then the last one is probably gonna be a buccaneer paragon. I'm thinking, you know, how the farming is gonna go, but I'm not exactly too confident that we're gonna be making too much money after this. So I'm just gonna let the setup roll. There's nothing else that we can do in regards to farming or whatever. So yeah, let's just try and make as much money as possible. Then we're gonna buy the buccaneer paragon and just hope for the best at tier 5. So 1.1 million and a degree 30 sub paragon. Is this gonna be enough? I'm not exactly sure. So let's give this thing almost everything. I want to save a little bit of cash for the cripple mob. How much would this? I think the 50k leftover would be nice. And what's the degree that we get on this thing? It's gonna be a 55. Okay, so 55 on the buccaneer and then 30 onto the sub. Is this gonna be enough? So this guy is on strong, so the small planes focus down the boss, and then let's just buy this thing, the cripple mob on strong. And you look at this planning, guys. It's $6,000 remaining. I mean, what else can you ask for? And the sub ability is pre-launched, so he's gonna launch in a second. Let's just have this guy on strong. Let's switch this guy back on first though, and let's get this thing going. So is this gonna be enough, guys? I'm not sure. I feel like the buccaneer degree is strong. Like 55 is not a weak degree, but you know, a little bit of a thing that I have with this one is that we're not gonna be able to utilize these side weapons. These cannons on the side are just not gonna be attacking, just because, well, at least some of them are gonna be attacking. Like for example, this portion of the map, like these guys on the sides are attacking, but you know, the boss is gonna go away and we're not gonna fully utilize the damage, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's about it. Like, I don't know what else to do for this one. No more damage amplifiers, no more serious damage that we can buy for like $40,000, the money that we currently have. But the fact that we were able to place the buccaneer paragon in this spot right in the middle where it's just simply not getting stunned by vortex, I think that is really important. So you want to have this guy on strong, and I think this is the way that they intended for us to defend this thing, right? Because I don't see us buying the Goliath. The Goliath is way too expensive. I mean, what else? There are no other paragons. So yeah, you actually have to defend it like this, and it's a pretty straightforward boss that we had, as in you have to defend it and you have to farm it in a very specific, in a very certain way. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for this one, guys. This is gonna be a tier 5 Ninja Kui going out with a bang with update 43. We got a 014 Alchemist. Let's just see a review map before we go. So this guy is gonna have 10 million pops, and then this one is at 23. So the sub paragon actually did perform really well, and these guys do get the job done eventually. But that's gonna be for this one, the last boss for update 43, and I'm gonna see you guys hopefully next week for the first boss on update 44. But that's gonna be for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.